Regional Director for EMEA from Context, based near Copenhagen in Denmark, and Johan Spies, Worldwide Textile Product Manager for HP, based in Barcelona. The webinar will have three parts. First part, Context, will show us how to digitalize hand-painted artwork. Secondly, we will bring that digital file to AVA to prepare the file for printing by editing, put it on repeats, creating different colorways, and getting the file fully color managed to bring them to the HP stitch printers, which Johan will be explaining us the dye sublimation technology and the features of those printers. So let's start with David. David, good afternoon to you. If you want to introduce yourself and the features, the Context HD Ultra X scanner, I believe you will be showing us today.
Yes, I'm happy to do so, and thank you so much for the invitation. I'm happy to be a part of this webinar together with AVA and HP. And I would like to just quickly introduce myself. My name is David Jorgensen, Regional Director for EMEA and India region. So I'll jump right into it to kind of give you a little impression on what is scanning textile. I would like to start presenting a video which explains a little bit on how you actually do the scanning process, and then I will move on to a presentation further on. So we will be displaying our HD Ultra X together with our software, Next Limit software. We received a piece of acrylic art from AVA, which will go through the entire workflow from us going to AVA and HP. So from scanning the artwork, you have a lot of different settings. You have a lot of different tools. You can start by saving the document wherever you want on your computer, and you can do your fit into the entire match that would fit your specification. On this specific scan, we have chosen 24 color bit and 300 DPI. Within the Next Limit software, we say that is kind of the magic tool. The hardware is doing one part and the software is doing an entirely separate part. You would have the option to edit a lot of things in a document. You have the opportunity to enhance, as we're showing, and on your right side, you have a lot of options to do all kind of varieties, layers of editing tools. At all times, you have the option to save your document or to return to original. Very important to say that everything that you put together in order to create the best image for you, for your need and your requirements, you can set to presettings in order to save time on your workflow and create the best productivity for you. So a lot of different options of opportunities that will enable you to really go deep with the documents from the scanning process until moving further on to the next phases. All right. Excuse me. So I will be moving from our presentation over to our presentation now. I hope everybody can see it.
Yeah, that's good.
Very good. Very good. All right. Um, First of all, quick introduction to context, then I will move on to textile scanning in two directions, in pattern scanning and in actual fabric scanning, and touch on our HD Ultra X, which we are displaying on this webinar. Quickly on context, we were established roughly around 100 years ago, 1923. We have a headquarter in Denmark, where I'm based out of. We have international offices in US, China, and Japan, and consider ourselves the market leader in large format scanning, and are selling worldwide to more than 90 different countries. So this part is very interesting and very important, and I hope it will give all of you some new information, or maybe enhanced information on how we can help you guys optimize your workflow from the early stage, meaning the scanning of the original. So I would start out with a pattern. So when you talk about scanning pattern for textile, that could be various kind of pattern, varying from material in cardboard and metal and glass. But when you talk about the particular pattern, you talk about a pattern that you need to be reproduced, and the pattern, you need to have a scanner to do the right job. So whether it's the scan pattern going into the cutting machine, or whether you're actually doing a stitching of patterns, you would do that the same way, using a third party software application. So the entire process and the reason for involving a scanner, hopefully our solution, would be to save time and to save money. It's very proven out there. We have a variety of different options in our portfolio, but the HD Ultra X is extremely good to detect and to improve and enhance the first part of your development phase, being the scan. So when you create the image, very easy to import it into a CAD system, and we'll work from here. And whether it's a color separation conducted by AVA, or what it would be, very easy to work from here. So moving on to the fabric part. When you talk about fabric, again, it could be various things. It could be an artwork that is actually printed on a piece of silk. It could be textile fabric. It could be even wallpaper. We can do it all. We can do it all. We can scan it all. Why would you do this? You could do it, for instance, to detect weaves, sewing patterns. You could do it either to do it black and white, only focusing on these particular areas. You could do that with one bit, or you could focus on the color, as we were displaying a little bit earlier with the test version. So there are a big variety of opportunities. What you need to be very careful with is, if you are dealing with flexible or fragile material, you would need to use a cover or carrier to carry your original, so it does not get damaged in any way through the scanner. Again, this is extremely useful when you talk a pre-process towards color separation moving further on. So going into our product, the HD Ultra X, we mentioned 4 particular areas where we think we have a unique setting up of options. So we have the productivity, and productivity we base on that we have the highest speed out there. So you can really get the workflow. When we talk about speed, we talk about hardware and software, so they work coherent together. So you get a very fast workflow going on. When we talk about quality, we have the best solution, we believe. We are using a ICC profile. We're using the best lenses you can get on the market for digital. We are doing a 1200 DPI in order to create the best and sharpest image for you to work on with in our software, and further on in the third party software application that you would be using, or CAD program. whatever it should be. And the flexibility, what we mentioned here, is that you are actually able to work with thick media, or you're able to work and handle fragile media. We have a specific setting with our camera-based solution to get depth of focus, but we also have an opportunity to work with thick media as well as fragile media. We have two different settings on our machine to work specifically with these kind of things. And the workflow, what we mean by this is that it's designed for your flow, for your workflow. So we are making it quite easy to make the settings according to your need. With the software applications, we are making it very easy to convert the document that you would get into a CAD software application and convert, if needed, to vector file to edit further. We have three different sizes of our CCD line, 36, 42, and 60 inch. And again, if you look at those speed numbers on especially the bottom, this is the fastest speed you would get on the market. Comes with an extremely high quality. Even with the higher speed, we keep the same quality. The next image is something we are extremely proud of. It is a unique set of software that would make your entire process the best from the beginning throughout the next phase, going to color separation in this case, and moving on to the printing. Lastly, I would like to mention that we are doing our utmost to ensure that we make the minimum impact on the environment. It is very important to us. So when we mention certificates, this is one thing, but we try to exceed all expectations out there in terms of bringing electricity, in terms of setting some demands back into our suppliers, but also try to do the best that we can do in terms of saving the environment and the globe. So that was it from me, and I will give it back to you, Carlos. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, David. I've seen the context scanners at several of our fashion customers, and I'm very pleased to see this very versatile scanner and how they could scan on a different substrates. I was really impressed with that. So now, so we're going to show how AVA can help to convert the digital file scan, and how we can help our customers to boost the productivity and creativity. So we have Rachel, our digital print consultant, to help us with the demonstration of the AVA software. Hi, Rachel.
Hi. Hiya.
Just before we move into showing the AVA software, just a very brief introduction for those who are not familiarized with AVA. Just a very short introduction. AVA has been 35 years in the industry, developing CAD/CAM software and offering support to textile and decorative print customers worldwide. The user interface of AVA, as you will see, is very similar to Adobe Photoshop, but obviously we specialize on textile print, offering a native integrated software package with the different modules, but offering tools for designing, for editing, for coloring, for screen print separations, and finally for digital printing. The AVA, so the Vantage AVA offers gains in productivity and, very important, how to reduce the waste by minimizing the number of strike-offs needed. For instance, when we try to match an approved colorway that has been printed digitally and we need to match it with traditional screen print, or simply by helping to communicate colors and designs with customers and suppliers worldwide in the supply chain. And lastly, but no less important, to mention that the largest department at AVA is customer service, a team of multilingual experts who train and support our customers worldwide. We work on a different shifts from 6 in the morning to midnight UK time to ensure our customers make the best of the use of the AVA software, and somehow they get the quickest and most effective way of adopting the software. So thank you very much, and over to you, Rachel, if you want to show us.
Thank you, Carlos.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the scan here, and as you'll see, if I zoom into this corner, there are a few blemishes, but we can fix that up pretty quickly using the carbon copy tool, which I've saved some settings with here. So these types of blemishes that come through from the scanner aren't a problem because we can just blend them in to the original artwork, like so. And we also have some filters that we can use to remove things like the texture of fabric that comes through from scanners. So again, these can be recalled at the click of a button, and that will just help to soften out that texture that we're often asked about on the support side, how to remove those textural effects from scans. So we can do that with some filters. But most importantly, I want to put this document into repeat. So I have here a crop box set. Now this is just marking out the repeat size, and if you need to, you can set that to a specific size if you know what your repeat size is. So I'll just tidy that up and make it 32 by 64. And then I'm going to take this crop area and take it to a new document. So I'm going to crop that to a new document. And then here is my repeat, which I can use my repeat inspector down in the bottom right to pop that into a 2x2 repeat. I can also set a half drop on this, and I can frame the first repeat. So if I zoom out now, you'll see that the blue frame is highlighting the first repeat of this document. But what I need to do is I need to tidy up these join lines. Now to do that, I'm going to use the carbon copy tool again, but I'm going to copy from the original artwork. So let me just tidy up my windows here a little bit so that I can see the original artwork beside the new repeating document. Now using my carbon copy tool again, this time I'm going to use it in actual carbon copy mode, and I'm going to set the source to crop box. Now this is something that we don't have in Adobe, and essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be copying from the original document, and as I do that, it's going to locate my cursor in relation to that crop box. So as I start to paint, you'll see the cross on the left is following my brush strokes, which means I can very quickly put this document into repeat. Now as I'm painting, I may want to pick up some of the areas on the other side of the document. So at the moment my crosshair is on the left, on the right, but I want to move that to the left. So I'm just going to tap my left arrow, and that will locate my position in the original document. So what I can do is I can blend both sides of this artwork until I'm happy with the repeat. And if I zoom out a little bit, you will see that as I fix this area here, the big green area, you'll see that that is being fixed in all of my repeats. So I only have to fix the right-hand side and the bottom of this document. So if I go into more repeats and increase my brush size, you'll see that as I fix this scan, all of the editing is being done across all repeats. So always working in real-time repeat. Now just to finish off this repeat, I'm going to take this motif, I'm going to make a selection of this motif from the original document here. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste that into my new document. And I'm just going to move that. Now again, as I move that, you can see it going across all the repeats, and I can go right across that repeat join. And as I do that, it starts to come in on the left-hand side. So I just want to fill this area down here with this partial image, and I can flip that. And if I zoom in a little bit, I can resize it, I can rotate it, what have you. But I can also edit its mask So I can start to erase areas of its mask to help it blend better with the original artwork behind it. Or I can choose to use one of our blending modes, and if I use this mode here, Min, that's going to remove the background for me, and then I can just place that into position, and then when I'm happy, I would fuse those two together. So what I end up with is a repeating document. So I'm finished with the main scan, so I can close that down. And I can continue working on this document here. Now my next step in my workflow would be really to separate this document. Now even if I want to separate this document for digital, I would want to separate it in order to create colorways. Separating enables us to change just one or two colors within the document, or create lots of colorways. So I'm going to show you how we would separate something like this in AVA.
Yes, correct. Of course, we can still edit the design and use our tools to change the color balance of the image and create different variations. But if we wanted to hit particular Pantone colors or create different color variations, with another software will take a lot of work. AVA is something that can be done very quickly, as Rachel will show us now.
So in order to start the separation process, I would need to just select each of the colours that I would want to separate, and that would add a blank layer for me in my layers palette over here on the right. But because I am up against the time a little bit, I have preset a button down on my left here, which if I click that, it will load the colours in for me. And then what I can do to help me is I can just sort these layers in terms of hue, so it groups them in colour, which will just help me navigate the layers a little bit easier. Now if I go to my separate menu, you can see that we've got a whole host of separation methods here, and some are for flat artwork, some are for tonal artwork. So I'm going to use advanced colour here, because this is perfect for watercolour designs such as the one we're looking at. Now I'll just zoom out, and I'm going to click Make first of all. So I'm just going to start the separation process. Let's just make those invisible first. Click Make, and that will kickstart the separation process. So if I show you each layer individually, you can see that we've got information on all of those now, and together they look like this. Now, this needs a little bit of work, but in order to tweak it properly, I need to be able to see the original artwork. So down on my left-hand side here, I'm just going to click this small plus button, and that will split the view, meaning that in one view, I can view the original artwork, which is now on my left, and in the other view, I'm viewing separation. And we can see that it needs a little bit of adjustment. So if I zoom into this area here, for example, and look perhaps at this green. Now, I may not have selected the correct green to begin with, but using this colour block here, I can option click on there, and I can change the colour that I am separating. So I can fine tune those tones in the separation by changing the colour. And I can also, if I look at the yellow now, I can also use this slider bar here to, for example, add more information to the separation, or if I move this slider bar to the right, it will take information away from the separation. So I've got very high levels of control over what I'm doing here on each of the layers. And the third level of control that we have is this gamma curve here. So I want to boost the tones on this black layer. So first of all, I'm just going to add a little bit more information onto that layer. And then I can start to increase the tones on that layer so that they are more obvious to us. So this little window provides a huge amount of control. And when we're finished with the separation, we can simply click Make. Just before I do that, I just want to point out that if you forget a colour, which I think I did down here, If you forget a colour, that's not a problem, because you would simply add that to the file, and you would add that into the separation, like so. So it's not a problem if you forget a colour in the initial setup of this separation. So I'm just going to click Make, fix layer on all of those, and that will confirm those changes. Now I'm going to open up one I did earlier, so to speak. So with a little bit more time given to it, your separation will end up looking like this. Okay, so lots of information on all of those layers. And the next step for me would be to start creating some colorways. So if I click this button up here, you can see that I've only got the one colorway. So I'm going to add a colorway to this, clicking the plus up here. And now I've got a duplicate of my first one. Now the first way I'm going to colour is using a colour picker. So if I option click and open up this colour picker here, there's a little checkbox down here that says printer gamut. So if I click that, what that's doing is it's restricting the colours that I can see to my printer's gamut. And you can see that I've set an HP stitch profile in here. So all of these colours that I can see now are actually true to the printer that I'm going to print to. So as long as I select colours within this colour shape, I can be guaranteed that they are achievable on my printer. Just select some nice bright colours here. Okay, and then within the same document, we now have two colourways. Now I'll make a third. And this time I will colour with a Pantone colour file. So I've just double clicked on my colour chip and that opens our Pantone colour file here. And then you can either search for colours or you can simply select them. Okay. And then the fourth way would be to colour from a swatches palette. So this palette is ideal for storing colours sent to you by customers, for example. They might be this season's trends, just some colours that I use regularly, which I can then just drag and drop into the layers palette, like so. So now what I want to do is I want to lay my colorways out. So I'm going to go into the layout page, and this enables me to tile all of my colorways. So I have 4 colorways and I'm going to tile them across the page like so. And just set the page. And this is great because this means that we can now start balancing all of the colorways when you can see them all on screen. Now you can drag colors from one colorway to another. You can also swap colorways. So if I zoom in down here and, for example, select these 2 colors, I'm going to flip the colors between them. So I go to the colorway menu, select swap colorways, and that will just swap the colors on each of those colorways like so. You can also very quickly, if I go down to this one, convert your colours to Pantone colours. So if I double click on this chip, it's going to locate the closest Pantone, and then I can click enter, and I could just work through the colourway like so, just very quickly converting all of those to Pantone references. Now if I just remove these objects and I want to delete the colourways I've added, just to show you one last feature, and that is the ability to load colorways. So if you're working on main designs and coordinates, you can color up the main design, and then you can load in, you can save the colorways, and then you can load those in later on. So I'm going to load those, and now you can see that we have 7 colorways here. Now, what I want to do is I want to now lay out a template, so an attractive template to print just for sampling to begin with. So I'm going to load in one that I made a little bit earlier, which shows an array of colorway options. It shows some dynamic text here, so it shows us the scale of the design and the profile that we're using. But you can also see that we've got a bit of a visualization going on here. And that is just it's a 3D mapping program that we have, which enables you to visualize and show customers or colleagues alike your ideas and how your design would sit on a particular product. And then if I load this layout here, this is pretty much what I have sent over to HP, which Chris and Johan are now going to show how it was printed on the HP Stitch printer.
Thank you, Rachel. Beautiful colorways, a good choice. So this AVA color management and the AVA read software is certified by HP, latex and stitch printers. So now we move into Johan and the HP R&D Center in Barcelona, who will show us how to print, what will be the printing result of these colorways. Over to you, Johan.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Rachel, for the beautiful demonstration. Yes, I'm happy and delighted to bring you to, we're going around the globe. Now we're coming into Barcelona. Chris, who is working in our demo center in Barcelona, received the files, and I would like to start with showing a video of Chris receiving the files and start to print them and do the sublimation. And after this video, I will come back to you and explain you more about dye sublimation and about the Stitch product portfolio. But first, let's start. Too many clicks, too fast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining the Barcelona Demo Center. I'm going to give you a small presentation on the S500, our dye sublimation printer. You will see behind me the S300, which is also one of our dye sublimation printers, as well as our S1000. Which doesn't fit into the screen because it's a 3.2 meter printer and it's located at a different position. Okay. Thank you, AVA team, for sending out the files to me. I'm going to launch them right now, so I will disappear from the screen for 1 second, and I'm going to launch the prints. So while my machine is receiving the prints and is starting, you can see the green light going on. What do you do if you're not printing? Of course, HP is a very nice company. So I'm going to sit down in my sofa and I will wait for my printer to finish printing. Of course, this is a joke. I have to work really hard here. So I sit down in this sofa because this is printed and finished. It was printed on a dye sublimation printer from us. And I wanted to show you how good the quality is. And let me get out here. I'm old, you can see it. Let me get out all of those two cushions and let me bring them to you close. You will see that we're printing on different kind of medias. This one is a quite matte and structured media. We have nice, very nice reds. We have dark blues, and if we're going to change to the second cushion, then you're going to see this one is a little bit more shiny. The colors are a little bit more vivid because of the media itself. But you'll see here very nice shiny blues and dark colors on the other side. Okay. In the meanwhile, my printer started printing right here, and right now I'm printing on transfer paper to then sublimate later on onto a textile. But with these printers, we can also print directly on fabrics. As long as they're not too stretchy, we can go direct, and even when we're going to use textiles that have an open structure, we have this tool which we can integrate into the machine, which is going to be able, which allows us to print on structures that are open, so the ink will go through the media and will be captured on this tool. So this is the first design that is coming out. I asked my printer to automatically cut after he stopped printing, and then we'll go to the Cefa sublimation press. While he's finishing and he's cutting, maybe I can tell you that we're working with 3-liter ink cartridges here, so it gives me the time to start a production and I don't have to be here every single time. This is a production machine. It's not a small toy where you have to change all the ink cartridges every 2 minutes. Okay, right now I'm going to go to the Cefa press. I already prepared my textile here. Let me quickly put the design over it. Normally I would cut it nice to the size of the textile, but in this case I want you guys not to wait too long. So right now at the temperature of 195 degrees and during 55 seconds, I'm going to sublimate my ink onto the textile, and we're going to see the results coming out in a second. So bear with me. It's still 30 seconds to go. In the meanwhile, my printer is printing his second design. Maybe we can quickly switch here. It's printing my second design. So we will be working continuously, and of course, when we're going to print full productions, I'm going to print not from a roll to a sheet, but I'm going to print from a roll to a second roll, where we'll pick up, and then it will make your production to go and run smoothly. Okay. Let me go back to the Cefa press, because in 2 seconds it will open up. Here we go. It releases. I'm going to take off the sublimation paper. Look at this, coming out with very contrastful colors, very bright colors, and if I ask the cameraman to zoom in, I use the textile which is structured, which is an interior decoration, which is going to be used for curtains, for example. Okay, good. I will put this aside. I'm going to take my next textile. Just prepare it onto my Cefa press. Good. This one is ready. Coming back here. This one just finished the second design. And I will do the same thing. You're probably asking, how quick was I printing? And then I will take this board with me. Right now I'm printing this production in 3-pass, which is production and quality. Okay, this is for sure good for all these kind of designs that I'm printing right now. I could even for this design go in higher speed, but right now I'm printing at a production at around 43 square meters per hour, which is a very nice production speed for this kind of printers. Okay. And let me go back to the Cefa press, because my second design is going to come out in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 second. Here's my second design. Again, very nice, bright colors. Good blues, good darks, good contrasts. nice black over here. Just wanted to point that one out. And this at production speed. Take this one away too. I'm going to take off the third design. It's cutting right now. The operator needs to run, no time to sit in the sofa. Third design is out. I forgot my textile to put it on. So first I'm going to take my textile, put it on straight, and then bring in my third design. And we have another 50 seconds to wait until everything is finished. And while we have 20 more seconds, of course this quality is equal on the S300, but also on the S1000. Of course we're talking about different printing speeds, but quality-wise the quality is similar. So don't worry if you're acquiring an S300. And for sure if you're doing an S1000, we're talking about top quality. So here comes out my last design. Take the sublimation paper away. Ask the cameraman to zoom in. You see nice colors coming out. Nice design, by the way. I love it. And here we go with our 3 different designs. Putting them together for a second. And I don't want to take more of your time. I think about 10 minutes that we took to print all this. I thank you very much for your time spent with me from the demo center in Barcelona. Hope to see each other live. Thank you very much. Have a nice morning. Have a nice day. And for the ones in the Americas, have a nice evening. Thank you very much.
Okay, now you saw in a 10 minutes time we were printing actually the 3 different designs very easily on the HP stitch. This is a sublimation printer. Sublimation printer means that you're printing with sublimation ink, and it's sublimation ink based for polyester based materials. What do you think about polyester materials? You can print with transfer paper. That means you transfer what Chris just perfectly shown, and you can print direct to polyester-based materials. Polyester-based materials, you need to think of a minimum of around 70% of the material of the textile needs to be polyester. So it can be a beautiful blend. Differentiation between when to print on paper and when to print on direct to fabric depends, as Chris already perfectly explained, about the stretchability of the material, if the machine can handle this. In general, for interior decoration and perfectly for these beautiful designs scanned and prepared in AVA and then printed in the system, is mainly that you use paper to transfer the images to your textile, but also depending on that. So on the slide, on your screen, you see now the 3 different printers. The S300, the entrance model of the HP stitch. On the other right side, you see the S500, the machine that you just saw printing. Perfectly efficient, easy to do. Yes, we're not paying to Chris to sit in the chair, but actually it's doing the work for you. It's doing its maintenance, it's making sure that you have the right colors, and making sure that it's ready when you want to print. And in the middle, the biggest one, the 3.2 meter wide, 126 inch S1000 production. Let's say if you want to make bed linen, if you want to make print on very 3.2 126 applications, you can do that. We have that on board for you. And in combination with the inks, making sure that the package is totally complete with the RIP software. So talking about the S300, it's rely on the HP Complete solution that we provide. So it's not only the printer, it's not only the inks, but it's also the RIP software that comes together in one package. It's an ease of use, easy operational. It's really for the entry, for the people that want to go into dye sublimation and want to do the printing themselves and want to have the quality and the colors in full control. So you have a scanner, you have the AVA software, and you have the combination with the HP stitch printers, and you have the total package. You saw how relaxed Chris is walking around. Yes, from walking around making very off switches, but the machine is doing what it's done. The file comes in from AVA and it's printed. So, versatile, safe starter investment. So, ease of use, yes.
Thank you, Johan. Yes, it's very interesting. I've seen in some sites how it's very interesting that the 300, 500 allow the scale up of the printing. Obviously, when the demand for more printers and the fact that you can get color match between the different printers, scaling up the production by using the same inks. Yeah, thank you to Chris as well. Hasn't got much time for him to sit up around this time. Have you finished with your part?
No, but I can finish now.
No, sorry. I thought I'll let you finish.
Okay. So, understanding our time is limited, we still have 10 minutes, so let's go quickly to the S1000, the machine you didn't see yet. It's a 3.2 meter, 126 inch wide production machine, up to 220 square meters an hour, or as we say in the US, in America, it's 2,370 square feet per hour. Perfectly suitable for a wide range of applications and designed as an industrial strong machine. All three machines can print on transfer paper and direct fabric, so you have your versatility with one machine. If we go to the comparison of the machines, 1.6 meter width, 46 inch and up to 3.2 meters. Different type of rolls of material depending on your production, what you have and what is able to produce. And of course with the different kind of speeds. So a machine for every need in your production. So Carlos, back to you. We still have 10 minutes if I'm alright with this. And I would like to say thank you very much. And if there are any questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, sorry, I apologize. I thought you had finished before. That was very good. Yes, I think there were some questions about the printer we were using for the demonstration. Johan, is the Stitch 300 is the model Chris was showing on the showroom, is that correct?
Where Chris was printing on was the Stitch S500 and on the right side next to it was the S300.
Yeah, right. Good. There was this morning some questions about how customers can access to the use of AVA if they have to purchase or they have the option to subscribe. I did answer this morning that we offer both options. Customers can commit to a 12-month subscription, an annual subscription, and like many other softwares, you also have the option to purchase the software. That was a question that came this morning and I forgot to mention before. I think there was something about context scanner before. Feel free, Johanna Davids, if you want to add something and it came through your chat panel.
It seems like on my side, explained a lot, so don't see any questions for this, as far as I can see.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
There is a question saying, can this be transferred to products as well, or just to fabrics? And I'm not sure who out of us all should answer that, but I guess it depends on the application that they need for the design, right?
Or it is about the sublimation on different kind of products, so that could be. Sublimation ink is an ink designed for polyester-based materials. So if it's a polyester fabric or it's a hard or rigid material with a polyester coating on it, you can sublimate on that. So let's say you have the most beautiful design scanned by David's team. You have the most beautiful corrections in the color schemes that you want, and you want to have it on a mark or a drinking cup or something like that. You can do that. Or you want to have it on a mouse mat. You want to have your design with logos, and yeah, perfectly. The sky is the limit as long as it's polyester-based material. So I hope this answers your question.
Exactly. And then we've just had another one that says, do we need to pre-treat the fabric before printing?
It depends on the type of fabric. Normally, it's already in factory, it's pre-treated. But as it's a polyester material, it depends on what you want. So if you have curtains, for example, yes, there is a pre-treatment in there. But if they are already 100% of, let's say, 70% polyester, as I said in the beginning, you can do it directly. But it depends really on the application, what you're doing. Normally we recommend, because if you have fine details, to have a coating in there to make sure that the ink stays where it needs to be if you do it direct. For non-direct, so for paper transfer, you don't need to pre-treat. It's not necessary.
Thank you.
Yeah.
A small correction when Chris was talking about sending the three designs. That's one of the beauties of AVA. There's one design, one original work done with context, and from there we create three colorways very quickly, which make it look like three completely different designs, but all come from the same original. And obviously this is one of the nice features of the software, and obviously be able to print the different colorways when you print it.
We just had another question. Is it possible to print on 100% natural fabric?
Yes, but not with dye sublimation ink. You can do it, but then you can wash it off in one go. Because there is no polyester. As I said before, you need to have minimum of 60, 70%, 70%. If you go lower, it's possible, but it means that, let's say you have a fabric of 50%, 50-50. That means on 50% of the fabric, the dyes will not stay. So that will mean that they will come loose, and that will lose your color intensity of your product. And this is something that we both not want, because you're doing high quality scanning, you're doing high quality editing, and then the end result is not what you want. So no.
Yes, what we have seen in the last few years is they evolve a lot the materials, and there are many polycottons, and they have very natural feeling and touching. There is this stigma, I think, attached to polyester, to non-naturals. But one of the things, you probably know more about that, I know it's becoming very popular, is recycled polyester and polycotton, and people are prepared to pay a premium because the feeling is very good, and obviously yes, it's a recycled product.
Correct. You see more and more of our customers printing on eco-friendly materials or recycled materials from PET glass, for example. And the question and the demand is more and more for that. And the good thing about dye sublimation technology, good for bringing this up, is that you don't need to wash, you don't have to do water pollution. So it's a green technology to get the designs in the market that you want, and the easiness of the whole workflow, as you saw today. Yeah, there's no restriction.
Mm-hmm.
David, is there a maximum thickness in terms of what can go through your scanner?
You're muted, David.
David, are you on mute?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay.
We say, we say 15 millimeters is good to keep in mind.
Okay.
I would say that the thickness also depend on what kind of material you're using, but we are very comfortable on saying 15. Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you.
I've seen in one of your customer, obviously very imaginative company, pulling through the scanner, fabrics stick to paper. I know something maybe you wouldn't recommend. Obviously, there's always a risk that it damages the scanner, but I've seen these scanners, and I have from the customers saying that allow them to scan in different thickness and different materials. So obviously some customers push the boundaries of the machinery.
Yeah, I would say, like I mentioned in my presentation, it's extremely important to bear in mind what kind of material you are using. If you are using a scanner, a feeding scanner like ours, you need to be very careful with the material. If it is flexible, if it is fragile, you need to use a cover. You need to use a carrier for it. It's extremely important. It's so much a shame if you get rid of that original. Otherwise, you need to go over to a flatbed. We also have a flatbed in our program in order to make totally sure that you have that covered as well. But we have different kind of covers that serve the different needs. If it's a black one, of course you can get all the different shapes around the different angles, and we have a more open carrier as well if you don't have a specific need.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Well, a couple of more minutes, and after Rachel, we want to read out any other questions.
Johan, does the difference in percentage of polyester affect the colour?
It affects the washability. So, as I said already before in the example from 50-50%, so you can imagine if you have 100%, that means 100% of the fabric, of the fibers, are enclosing the dyes to make sure that the dyes are staying there. If you go lower, then you wash out the percentage who is not stored in your dyes, so your washability will change.
Is that the same even if you use something like 80 to 90% polyester? Obviously, you could lose 10% of your colour yield then.
It could be, depends how you wash it. That's why you see on polyester-based materials, don't tumble dry, don't hang it in the sun. Everybody who's doing the laundry at home and having the sports shirts for food, for soccer and everything else, know these labels by heart. They do it once, and then the whole family, you have them behind you, never to wear laundry again. So yes, be careful.
And somebody says, I presume you can use recycled polyfabric. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. So you see a blend of polyester, recycled polyester, and you see blends of recycled PET flash, and already the example that I gave. So you see more and more, like 10 years ago, you saw polyester blends more coming into the market. So it's not the rough stuff material that we had in the past. No, but you saw the pillows that Fritz was holding in his hands and what he was sublimating on the curtain fabric that we had there. You don't feel it anymore. We see some silkish materials, but it's a polyester.
Right.
So the range is really expanding, and now you see it suddenly also the eco-recycled materials coming up. So yes.
Brilliant.
Yeah, we've seen that coming a lot into outdoor furnishing, very popular, using recycled materials.
Brilliant. I think we've answered everything.
Yeah, do you have time for another one?
Any others that want to come through?
I talk about the limitation of number of layers you separate AVA.
Very good question. What do we do with the paper?
Great question.
As dye sublimation ink is a water-based ink, so it's really water-based, eco-friendly ink. So what do you do with the papers? The papers go in the recycling for paper, and it's no chemical waste or whatsoever. So that's why it's a green solution, as we communicated before. Very, very good question. Thank you.
Right.
Right, very good. I think we're done with the time now. Hope you enjoyed the webinar. You can still address your questions directly to David, Johan, myself, and we'll be very pleased to answer you. If there's anything else you want to add, David, Johan?
The only thing I want to say, thank you very much, Carlos and Rachel and AVA for making this possible.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, David, Johan, for very much for your participation. And stay well, and goodbye to everyone.
Bye.